voice of reason, shall continue this bonfire.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. The city of Chicago is providing more than $42 million in grant funding for 56 neighborhood development projects. Mayor Brandon Johnson says the grants will help spur economic growth.
With the grants issued today, we look forward to supporting the growth of small businesses, creating jobs, and adding to the vibrancy of our beloved communities.
The projects include a new city first responder training facility, a Dunning Sports Hall of Fame, and a Little Village Community Center. Former Los Angeles Fire Department Chief Christian Crowley is now personally suing Mayor Karen Bass. Crowley says the black mayor publicly damaged her reputation by blaming her for the city's issues during the response to the deadly Palisades fire. And Maryland Senate Democrats will meet today to discuss redistricting. Governor Wes Moore said he has plans to call a special session so the House and Senate can get together on the matter. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Escape the city at the all-new Hard Rock Casino Tejon, just an easy drive from downtown LA. Play your favorites across over 2,000 slot machines, plus baccarat, blackjack, roulette, and craps. Enjoy live entertainment and exceptional dining. Must be 21 or older. Concerned about your gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
One of the potential 9 free agents on the Lakers roster is planning to stay with the team. Austin Reeves has agreed to a 4-year, $185 million max contract. The deal will pay Reeves an average of $46.2 million per year. Reeves is signing the richest contract in NBA history for an undrafted player. The 28-year-old Reeves joined the Lakers as a free agent in 2022 after playing at Oklahoma. Reeves was not selected in the 2022 NBA draft. The Dodgers are donating $1.1 million to 2 nonprofits that are assisting families in the LA area impacted by the ICE immigration raids last summer. The Dodgers agreed to help the California Community Foundation and Labor Community Services. Last June, Dodgers management instructed their security team to block ICE agents from entering property at Dodger Stadium to seek out undocumented immigrants. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique the Prima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique the Prima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA. It's Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. This show is called First Things First, in case you haven't noticed. And my very first thing every day is prayer. Giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God. Asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. We got a lot to do, a lot to talk about. It's Thursday. It's a think tank Thursday, in fact. And so this is where we put together our collective brains to come up with solutions, ideas, innovations that can make our lives and the greater good shine. That's what we're looking for from you today. Hour one, we typically look local, left coast side of town, Pacific Ocean things. And hour two, we go national, international, beyond. The third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic or a person or persons of interest. Today, we are doing things slightly different. We will be open phones as per usual. You know you're always invited in, but right now, hour one, we got space, 800-920-1580. Hour two will be joined by Pastor Robert E. Caldwell, but we're going to talk about foster care and the way that we support or don't support young people in the system, whether it's justice impacted, whether it might be inside the carceral system, the foster system, and the ways that young people fall between the cracks. He's got a lot of experience in that area as a former foster child himself with a pretty astounding story. And then hour three, we're going to get motivated. Dr. Delatoro McNeil joins us. He's a motivational speaker, an inspirer, a person who can get us unstuck, unlocked, and ready to go. And I know a lot of us could use a little burst of inspiration. We are battling demons on the national stage, international stage, and of course we are always looking to make ourselves and our planet better. At least I know most of our KBLA delegation is on that page. I know I am as well. Every hour you're invited in as per usual. And that's what I got for you. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. That is the number to call. And, you know, when it comes to Think Tank Thursday, there's so much we can think about. But I look at the victory of the slate of candidates in New York that were endorsed by Mayor Zohran Mamdani, who is a Democratic Socialist, proudly so, says it. And not to say I told you so, but I told you so. In that I am constantly saying this, and I know some of my other delegates in this team believe this, that the main problem with the Democratic Party is that they refuse to embrace the progressive side of the party, where the energy is, right? Where the young voices are coming from, actual progress, policies that inspire the voters, because it's not just the same old corporate pablum. And that's what we've seen in New York. We've seen it right here in LA with the city council, with young candidates who are much more progressive than anything that the mainstream corporate Dems would ever consider quote unquote viable or electable, getting in. I mean, using their community organizing skills, yes, but also inspiring voters, right? By coming up with something that isn't just a stale talking point that means nothing. And we know it leads nowhere because we've heard those talking points rehashed and repackaged and rerun year after year and election after election. And so I guess the Think Tank Thursday question, if you care to take it up today, is how do we get there? How do we get from point A to point B? If you are a Democrat, which most black people are, okay? I know it doesn't seem like it if you look at social media, but the fact of the matter is most black people, African Americans, freedmen, whatever you all want to call us, are in the Democratic Party, myself included. And I have for years, really ever since Bernie made his first run for president, pondered whether or not I want to stay in this party, because it seems like they do everything they can to snuff out real progressive initiatives, candidates. I mean, we know Bernie should have had the nomination, and whether or not he would beat Trump is anyone's guess. with all the mis and disinformation, we could have had the same outcome, but maybe not. And although many young people have soured on Bernie Sanders, largely because of his stances on Israel and reparations in the past, both of which he has, quote unquote, evolved on, he was the first one to boldly come out and say, yes, I'm a democratic socialist. First one in this country. Other countries have whole democratic socialist parties. But in this country, to come out and say that is a big deal. This is the nation that brought you, the McCarthy era, when they were hauling in everyone from politicians to janitors for being supposed communist, right? And so to proudly state that you are a democratic socialist and run for president and have the kind of popularity that Bernie Sanders had at that time was revolutionary. And it opened the doors to where we are right now with this Mom Donnie wave. And I haven't tracked it nationwide, but I know it's happened here in LA. And to me, it affirms the point that I've been saying. But how do we do it, right? When these money lobbies, dark money and the not so dark money, the political action committees, the corporations, have many Democrats, most Democrats, I'll say, in a headlock. This is not unique to Democrats. It's the same thing with Republicans. It's just that we expect them to be transactional and bought and paid for. Dems will, and this is the thing that drives me crazy, they'll take on the rhetoric of the left. They'll say, oh yes, student loan forgiveness. And while I will give Biden credit, he tried, and he wasn't able to get it done. But oftentimes when they take on the rhetoric of the left, like student loan forgiveness or Medicare for all, what they end up doing is a watered down version of it, or don't do it at all, which leaves voters disillusioned and broke. To be frank, I mean, we keep talking about affordability, and that seems to be the key that Mom Donnie has tapped into, that true democratic socialism would relieve some of the pain of the working class, the poor, and the middle class, right? Things like Medicare for all. And President Obama tapped into that when he did the Affordable Care Act. It's just that he left too much power in the hands of the insurance companies. But what he tapped into, which I don't think he ever got credit for from a lot of people on the left, is the fact that many, at one point, I don't know if this still holds, but at one point, the number one factor in families going bankrupt in this country was medical debt. And we know that medical debt is suffocating elders, right? Older Americans. We know that medical debt is making a lot of seniors and other families that can't afford health care even under Obamacare subsidies, it's making them poor, right? So Medicare for all right off the bat is a policy that would relieve the affordability crisis to a large extent for middle class, working class, and poor Americans. So the tie-in between democratic socialism and affordability is what Mom Donnie has put his finger on, and it is working because people are getting the message. Now, there's a few caveats here. Just like anyone can call themselves a progressive, anyone can say they're a democratic socialist. So we need to look at their record. What have they actually done? Have they voted? Have they moved? Have they organized in ways that support that? I always talk about progressive posers, right? We don't want progressive posers trying to be Timu Mom Donnies, right? And so I think there's that. That's one caveat. And the other one is, are these slates and movements supporting black candidates? Are black candidates who have the same philosophical underpinning or the same voting record or the same organizing track record, are they being supported in the same way? Or is this a workaround? And we talked about this before. Is it a workaround that says, I can be progressive, I can be a democratic socialist, and I don't need black people. And some would argue that Bernie Sanders also set the blueprint for that, because when he first came out, he did not support reparations. And his positions on Gaza have been suspect, although they've improved vastly. I don't know, from my experience, Generation Z is not forgiving that. And I think that's a mistake, because I think politicians and activists and just regular voters should have the right to evolve, right? To change their position or get new information and therefore have a new understanding. I mean, that's one of the reasons we're here, right? If we freeze people permanently on the left, the right, the center, the anti-justice, the pro-justice, the corporate, the truly progressive, then what we don't do is we don't give people a chance to even respond to the information, and we don't give them a chance to be impacted by the organizing that we're doing, right? So I think we got to let go of that. Well, you once said this, so you're this forever, unless the suspicion is that the person is lying or being a poser. And on the flip side of that is that just because someone was once progressive or had that image, they still have to keep delivering in order to keep and maintain our support. That's what I would think. So how do we move the Democratic Party? Or do we? Do we say, you know what? Go to, DSA is Democratic Socialist America. Do we go to the Working Families Party? Do we go to the Green Party? So far, in my analysis, these third parties are mostly spoilers. And I know some of y'all don't like to hear that. A lot of y'all don't like to hear that. But if that's the case, then they need to prove it. Step up. Let's see these parties grow. What is the solution? How do we get out of this corporate headlock that the Democratic Party finds itself in? It seems like it's happening in New York. But how do we make that happen on the national level? We're going to need to do so for 2028, for sure. We're going to find ourselves right back in the Biden twilight zone. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DePrima, and we are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day. Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. 5 years old, yeah, with more that's coming your way. Congratulations, come on, y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA. Look, 5 years deep and we still going up. Built it from the ground, never real, no one else. Real talk on the air, then the truth get heard. Every day the proof getting served. He had a vision and he stayed with the plan. Now they tapped in from the beach to the land. Never back down, 7 days of the week, still going up now. We 5 years deep. Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. Happy smiling, you did it with 5 years today. Congratulations, come on y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA.
You've been hearing about it, and now it's your chance to get tickets to the LA Jazz Festival on the beach. Saturday, August 22nd, party on the sand with Janelle Monáe, Charlie Wilson, and Parliament Funkadelic. On Sunday the 23rd, it's John Legend, Raphael Sadiq, Original Coffee, Terrace Martin, and more. 2 epic days for a first ever music festival on Dockweiler Beach. Tickets are selling fast at lajazzfestival.com.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in, 800-920-1580. So we were wrong about the LAUSD superintendent of schools. We thought they would do a nationwide search to find someone, but they have actually permanently appointed the interim. So that is pretty unusual, and to me it says that the school board is concerned that it's been too long without leadership, because if you remember, Alberto Carvalho has been under investigation since February, or at least he's been under investigation longer than that, but his home was raided in February, and that's when he had to step back. And since February, Andre Shate has been running the district as an interim. He's a veteran, and apparently has decent relationships with the unions. He was a teacher, so they've gone ahead and appointed him after the superintendent resigned on Sunday night. They say he's a lifer with the LAUSD. That's what he says. That means he's been there pretty much most of his career. And yeah, we were wrong, because we thought they were going to, what I thought is that they were going to do a nationwide search and then appoint him. So if they're going to do that, that would have been a waste of our time anyway. So if they're going to hire him anyway, I would rather they make this move, especially since he appears to be a steady hand. And we are going to be seeing a transition in the leadership of the teachers union. So it is going to be, I can see the logic is what I'm saying. I can see the logic why they would do that, especially given the fact that we've been without official leadership since February, which is a very long time for the second largest school district in the nation. Lots of changes going on here. So I was talking about this idea and challenging you guys on the Think Tank Thursday to think about how we take the sort of corporate headlock out away from the Democratic Party and move into a truly progressive party that can reflect what's happening with the rank and file of our people, particularly black people, because I'm talking to you, and a lot of our KBLA delegation is black. We don't black down, and it is still a fact that most black people, black Americans, are in the Democratic Party. So what does that mean? To me, it means that we've got to find a way to mobilize younger voters, to get them actually excited about coming out to vote. It means that we've got to get candidates in these races that are truly progressive. If you look at LA, the Isabel Jurados, the Hugo Soto Martinez's, the Kenneth Mejia's, this younger crop of progressive candidates, they've come seemingly from out of nowhere, but they're organizers. They're community organizers, even more so than President Barack Obama. They've been, even if you look at the race for city attorney right now, you have someone that comes out of a democratic socialist sort of background and a community organizing background, even though she is currently in the state attorney general's office. A younger person with this kind of background. So I feel like we need to get some black candidates within that playbook, because we tend to, and right now I'm talking to you, us, black people, we tend to go with the guy we know, the woman who's been around. That there's some, because I remember when Obama first ran, I got grief from people who said, it's not his turn. It's Hillary's turn. He needs to wait his turn. And I'm talking about black people. Now, I'm not saying Obama's a progressive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying he was a young person who seemingly, according to many in our party, came from out of nowhere, right? And then he wins. And a lot of black people, especially chronologically gifted black people, were willing to go with the established Democrat, the establishment Democrat, that they knew that it was her turn. Well, it didn't work out that way. And so what I'm saying is, I think my solution here, and I'd love to hear yours at 800-920-1580, mine is, for one thing, if you're looking at a Mamdani, and from what I saw in yesterday's New York primaries, where a lot of these congressional candidates that were endorsed by Mamdani won, is I only saw one, I think she's Afro-Latina. I don't really know, her background. I did not see black candidates. Now, does that mean it can't happen? No, I think it can happen. But is it happening right now? I don't see it. Not so much. I mean, we do have a few true progressive black folks, but they're not coming under this DSA umbrella. At least not here in LA, and not what I'm seeing in New York. According to CNN, the mainstream Dems, the corporate Dems, are pressed right now because they lost in New York. I mean, this guy Adriano Espaillat, who is a Latino sort of corporate Dem, this guy Dan Goldman, they are both incumbents, and they lost to Democratic Socialists in the primary. They are saying it's going to be harder to flip the House of Representatives. It's going to be harder to beat Republicans with these progressive candidates, and I beg to differ. I think the reason we don't flip the House, I think the reason we don't have someone sitting in the presidency right now is because of the tepid corporate Democratic mainstream politics. The little scary, stick to the mainstream and court the soccer moms and run around after Liz Cheney. And I am one that believes that Kamala Harris paid a huge price for not taking a stronger position on Gaza. And to be fair, she did try to distance herself from Biden, but it wasn't enough for folks. It wasn't enough. And the terrible mistake of not letting Rashida Tlaib or some Palestinian get on the stage at the DNC, at the convention, was inexplicable. Why would you not? It doesn't make any sense. So I do think that's part of it. Now, to pretend like that's the only reason, and sexism and racism and the funny business of Elon Musk and the broligarch tech barons, that wasn't a factor, I think would be naive. However, my point is that I believe these analysts within, and they're probably these consultants is what they call them, the consultant class. I believe that consultant class is the one saying this. Oh, the socialists had a big win, but can they win in the general election? Let's ask Mamdani. Let's ask the LA City Council. Right? And I don't think it's just because they're afraid they won't win. I think it's because they don't want to win that way. They don't want to have to deliver for the working class, for the poor, for the middle class. They want to continue to serve their corporate overlords. So how do we break the headlock? Is it going to take a high-profile resignations like the Tucker Carlson and the Marjorie Taylor Greene that you see in the Republican Party, where they say, I'm out? And we've yet to see if that really has any actual influence on the Republican Party. But is it going to take that kind of breakaway from the Dems, or is it just we, the people, that have to do it? 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We've got news, traffic, and sports, then more. You know where you are.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Detroit police say a 7-year-old boy is hospitalized in critical condition after being shot several times last night at a home on the city's west side. Deputy Chief Tiffany Stewart says a man was also killed in the shooting that happened just after 9:30 Wednesday night.
At this point in time, we do not have a lot of information regarding what occurred at this scene. Our 7-year-old was able to tell us that his name is Jacquees.
Police say the two victims were found several homes apart and about 18 shots were fired. Florida's controversial Alligator Alcatraz immigration facility is moving closer to shutting down as officials begin the process of dismantling the site. And the city of Chicago is providing more than $42 million in grant funding for 56 neighborhood development projects. Mayor Brandon Johnson says the grants will help spur economic growth. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Wild Rivers is now open daily with over 25 slides and attractions for thrill seekers and lazy river chillers. Visit wildrivers.com for great values on season passes and daily tickets. That's wildrivers.com. Wild Rivers, where there's sun and fun for everyone.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
SoFi Stadium in Inglewood will be jumping tonight. The U.S. men's soccer team is back in action in the World Cup. The U.S. takes on Turkey. Start time 7 p.m. This is more of a tune-up match for the U.S. At 2-0, they've already qualified for the knockout round, the round of 32. Live coverage tonight on Fox Sports or Telemundo. The Dodgers have the best record in Major League Baseball after sweeping a 3-game series against the Twins in Minnesota. The Dodgers' 4-3 win put them at 52-29. Dodgers shortstop Mookie Betts hit his 300th career home run. The Dodgers are off today. They start a 3-game series Friday night in San Diego. Venus and Serena Williams will learn their opponents at Wimbledon on Friday when the pairings are announced. Venus and Serena are playing doubles together. Serena is also in the singles competition. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's do this.
Every vote matters. Every voice counts. And between now and November, the decisions made in Washington, Sacramento, and here at home in Los Angeles will shape the future of your family and your community. Don't leave it to chance, and don't leave it to guesswork. KBLA Talk 1580 is your source for the political conversations that matter most. Real talk, real insight, right here. KBLA Talk 1580, the place for politics.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers.
We can help you understand the disease
and give you tips for living a better life.
Find your answers at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Gas prices got you down. LADWP customers get a rebate of up to $4,000 when you buy a used electric or plug-in hybrid vehicle. Installing an EV charger at your home? Get a rebate for that too, up to $1,500. Visit ladwp.com/EV today and start saving. That's ladwp.com/EV.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including Mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County Sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. and ask your questions directly in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Don't be anxious or confused about AI. Take control of your career when you get the skills to tackle real business problems and design specialized solutions. HR Dive reported that entry-level talent with applied AI credentials can receive up to a 25% salary boost. But where do you find training that you can trust? Future-proof your career and deliver more value with Humans Lead the Way AI. Their hybrid learning courses use practical definitions, real-world examples, and strategic insights to help you and your team understand AI with confidence. No magic, no hacks, no shortcuts. Just practical knowledge that helps you use AI more successfully. Don't wait. AI can never replace people who know how to use it well. Register for courses today at humansleadtheway.com. That's humansleadtheway.com.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you, and I do appreciate you. 800-920-1580. That is the number to call. One other note that I would say regarding my Think Tank Thursday question for you, which is, how do we break the corporate headlock on the Democratic Party, or do we? Do we leave en masse? I don't see that happening. Yogi Fish says you won't see black candidates with those people. The fake revolutionaries don't support black issues. Well, I think that may be true for some, like we talked about the critique of Bernie. But if you look at the LA City Council, that's not true. The Democratic Socialist candidates, for the most part, have been very supportive of black issues. You look at Isabel Jurado, she was the one that pushed through the naming of the street right outside the LA Metropolitan Detention Center where Waukesha Wilson was unalived somehow, air quotes around somehow, and that, Hugo Soto Martinez and Eunices Hernandez and Isabel Jurado have been very strong on police accountability issues, and the the whole stop and frisk situation, which impacts a lot more black people than other people. So I think we have to look at people and their actual votes and their records. That's what I'm saying. Now, for Mamdani, I've seen him make moves to put more black people in his cabinet, but I don't have the detailed tracking of their day-to-day policies to say whether he or the people that he's supporting are where they are on these important issues that impact black people and true progressive politics, if you feel me. So that's why I think we got to look at not just a race, because it's true, black faces in high places is not enough, but also not just if they call themselves progressive or DSA, but what they do. And so that's my part two of my note, which is people now are positioning Councilmember Nithya Raman as a kind of West Coast Zoran Mamdani, and and because the first time she ran, she had DSA support. They're calling her a Democratic Socialist, but I don't think her voting record supports that. And I've had of late, I've had some conversations with my progressive friends, my friends who are even some of my radical friends, and my question is, give me an example of something that person has done recently that puts them in that category for you. I need concrete examples. I don't just need labels. And that's about track record. It's not just about what I call myself or how I market myself, branding. Let's go to Dwight calling us from the city of Compton. Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning, Dominique, Hotep. Good morning, all the KBLA family and the hardworking postworks out there. Dominique, I think this Democrats, socialists, and Democrats is just another way Republicans are trying to divide us. You know, the main thing is don't vote for any Republicans because they either going to do nothing and go along with what Trump does, or they're going to support Trump.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that line works anymore. The line that's just like, don't vote for Republicans, vote for us because we're not Republicans, ain't it. We need more than that. Where's the meat on them bones, Dems?
You're right, because we saw what happened with Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin, and they were had the Democratic label. And even with Fetterman, he has a Democratic label, but he sides with the Republicans. So, and look at Clarence Thomas. He's black, and he's the main one of the main cheerleaders for what Trump is doing. So you're right about that. But in this battle now, Dominique, I think it's either going to be democracy or fascism. You see, Trump's trying to take away voting by mail if you don't give him a record of all your voters in your state. And they said Oregon votes, most of the whole state votes by mail. So is he going to just drop Oregon out, let not count all
Yeah,
the votes
I mean,
there?
and not to mention he votes by mail, so it's BS.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not taking away the fact that I've yet to find a Republican anywhere who has an agenda that is helpful to us. I mean, outside of the First Step Act, which was actually started by President Barack Obama and signed by Trump, they are not doing things that benefit us.
They're cold, Dominique.
But what I'm saying is that's not enough. I'm not Trump. I'm not a cult. I'm not a Republican is not enough.
You're
I
right
need
about
deliverables.
that.
Yogi Fish is saying it's just branding, and I don't agree with that either. There are some DSA people that are actually delivering or trying to deliver on
but Trump
progressive platform points, real policies that can help people.
Yeah. Like the housing bill yesterday, Dominique. Trump didn't pass the housing bill because he said he wants his Save America, whatever BS name he gives stuff sounds a good name. There's nothing but corrupt BS.
But
he could have gave people housing yesterday.
I mean, of course,
after 10 days,
of course
it'll
that's
pass
right.
Anyway.
Of course that's right. He's throwing a little hissy fit. Why? Because Elon Musk wants the Save America Act, which is going to make it where a bunch of women, white women too,
and even you, Dominique.
Yep.
If you have your husband's name, they could say, hey, you
can't vote.
Your married name, you can't vote.
I mean, and that's the whole point of it.
They're only going to force it in the Democratic area.
Of course.
Yeah, they're not going to force that rule in the Republicans. Whatever rules they come out, let's do this, let's do that, they only enforce it against black people, brown people, and minorities that don't vote for them.
Yes,
they
yes,
never
and
enforce
yes.
it against
But
their own people.
yes, yes, and yes. But, Dwight, to say that it is just a nomenclature to divide us, I think is problematic, because we have to be able to have different flavors of Democrats. I mean,
exactly.
If we just say,
support them.
If we say DSA is, just another means of dividing us, well, then how do you know the difference between, a Cory Booker and an Ayanna Pressley, for example? I mean, one's in the Senate and one's in the Congress, but I'm talking, they're both black, they're both Democrats, so they're both good, right? Well, it depends what your policy priorities are.
Yeah.
Cory Booker seems to be a perfectly nice man, and he supported reparations, but he's very, very pro-Israel. And
oh yeah, that's you got if you see someone's committing genocide, you can't be supplying the guns and saying we're not involved.
Right.
If you didn't have the guns and the bullets and the bombs, they couldn't do what they're doing. So you can't hey, I just delivered the cocaine to the neighborhood. I don't actually stand on the corner and sell it. I'm just driving up in my car and giving a big bag out of my trunk. The same way with President Reagan. He's the one that supplied the cocaine for the crack epidemic, him and Oliver North. And then he said, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't." And that's same with Trump. "Oh, I didn't know. I'm not aware. I'm letting someone else handle that." That's a bunch of. That's what all the mafia leaders and the top drug dealers say. They ain't on the corner getting shot at selling the drugs, but they supplying the kilos of drugs that are coming into the community. So, Dominique, if they're for housing, our health care, voting rights, a living wage job, educating our children, those are the main things that Democrats are for, whether they're old 70-year-old like Maxine Waters, or there's somebody young in New York like McDonald. They try to divide in any way they can because they know they so corrupt. Nobody wants what they want. Racism and only the rich people get everything they want and pay no taxes.
But when it comes to Congresswoman Waters, she is a progressive. Mm-hmm. She's not a progressive poser.
Right.
She's been bold and she's been saying the quiet part out loud for decades.
Exactly.
But
I love Maxine Waters. You're right. Yeah.
And so but yet you have other people who call themselves progressives, and where's the evidence of that? I'm just saying we got to go beyond just letting people label themselves, and then we go, "Oh, okay, well they're a Democrat and they're black, or they're a Democrat and they're Latino, and they say they're progressive." Well, show me the evidence. Where are the receipts?
The main thing, Dominique, we got to save our country from when Trump is trying to just take it over as a dictator. So Right now we're in a war. And there's no sitting back. Every 18-year-old, please get out and vote, because if you don't, you might not even be able to vote. They're saying they're not going to accept your ID that they had to show, our birth certificate to get. You can't if you don't have a passport. A lot of 18-year-olds, a lot of black people may not travel out of the country. A lot of brown people may not travel out of the country. You busy working, trying to pay your rent and pay your car note. You ain't got time to go on a nice vacation like Trump.
And it's not just that. It's not just that. There are plenty of elders and even young people that don't have the transportation to go to the one place in their county that has the passport office, and then you got to pay fees for that. They may or may not have the birth certificate. They might just they had it at one point. Now they have a driver's license, but that's not enough. So these are clearly barriers to voting that are being put in place on purpose. And at the same time, you want to sit here and criticize California for taking a long time to count. Why are we taking a long time to count? Because we're being careful. We have a lot of people, and y'all say you don't want cheating, so STFU, and let us vote count in a way that is verifiable, right? And that and that makes sure that every vote counts, but every vote is also legit. So
and counted.
Yeah.
And Dominique, if all our people vote, it's going to take us longer. That's like if you got an order and you go to a restaurant, it's a bunch of people in the restaurant, you're going to have to wait before you're going to be able to sit down and eat. If you go somewhere, you don't see nobody in the restaurant. What's wrong with this restaurant? Is the food? Boy, you go somewhere and ain't nobody in the restaurant, or you go somewhere where there's a lot of people, you're going to take time. And to count every vote and make every vote count, it takes time, Dominique. But
indeed. Thank you, Dwight. I appreciate your support.
Love KBLA.
We love you more. 800-920-1580. That's the number Dwight called. I invite you to do the same.
Where the overlooked become unmissable. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. These are hard times for housing in America. Too many in our community face barriers to safe housing, behavioral health care, and affirming spaces for healing, particularly those impacted by poverty and stigma or incarceration. Rooted in South LA, Ahmad supports impacted communities through housing, wellness, and leadership development. Ahmad provides culturally responsive, peer-led support from transitional housing and mental health services to leadership development and youth empowerment. They offer safe, affirming houses for youth, transgender women, and formerly incarcerated individuals. Therapy and peer support with a focus on healing trauma in Black communities. HIV prevention and care, free testing, education, and wraparound services for whole person wellness. Stand standing in the gap with health, housing, and hope. Reach out to Ahmad Institute at 323-569-1610. That's 323-569-1610. Or visit amaad.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
When you turn to the Employment Development Department, we'll help you get there. Whether it's support for you and your family while you find a new job, or the resources to focus on your recovery after illness or injury, we can help you move forward. From support while you bond with your newborn, to helping serve your family while your partner serves our country. Your EDD. We'll help you get there. For more information, visit edd.ca.gov.
Going to a World Cup match in LA this summer? Ditch the parking stress and ride Metro. With direct service from across LA County, it's the easy way to get there for just $1.75 each way.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. The midterm election campaign season is here now. The 2028 presidential election is right around the corner. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. It's all in for 2026 and 2028. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-324-3030. That's 800-324-3030. Again, that's 800-324-3030.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Indeed, you are, and you are always welcome in at 800-920-1580. Going to Carl from L.A. Good morning, Carl.
Hey, Sister Dominique, what's going on with you?
Not too much. What's up? Well, the whole wide world, but you know.
Yeah, when you get some time, look into that Save America Act.
Oh, I have been looking into it. I've talked about it a lot on this show. It's really Elon Musk's bill. That's what it really is. He has threatened to put massive dollars behind any Republican who does not support it.
Yeah, it's deep. Hey, look, you had so many questions in there, but hey, look, was District 13, was that in the Bronx or was it in what part of New York was that in yesterday? 'Cause
I am not an expert on New York. You would have to look that up yourself. That's what Google is for.
Yeah,
but
I think it was the Bronx. I think it was the Bronx. But to one of your questions, I seen them. They were really organized. They got into the organizing.
That's the one that. That's the one that. What's his name? Espaillat lost. The 13th.
Yeah, right.
District.
He lost it.
Yeah,
He lost
you're right.
her.
It's West Bronx, Upper Manhattan, West Bronx.
Okay.
But Carl be using me like I'm Google. He's gonna call up here and ask me questions like my name is Mrs. Encyclopedia. I take that as a compliment. I guess it means you think I know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, that's what it says. That's what it says on the internet. It says it's parts of Manhattan and the Bronx.
Yeah, no, it had just slipped my mind because I was on hold so long. But anyway, hey,
Thank you
look,
for your patience.
Yeah, always. You know, hey, you know how we do it. Hey, Rodman. I mean, is that her name? Nithya Rodman.
Ramen, yeah,
Rodman,
not spelled not spelled like the noodles, but like the noodles. Ramen.
Right. She's saying that if she does become mayor the next 4 months now, it's down to 4 months now in a week. She wants to take over control of the Los Angeles Police Department. She don't have no problem with it. Now, you know, they got this bill coming out where they want to get it on the ballot.
Well, that's not quite exactly right. What it is that there will be the question put to voters in November: should the city council have oversight over the police department? If she becomes mayor, then the mayor appoints the police chief and appoints the police commission. So the mayor already has a certain amount of influence over the police department. What they're talking about now is that the city council having supervisorial authority over the LAPD, and I'm voting yes on that. It's not about Ramen, it's about the entire city council.
Yeah, well, I figured that, since they changing up the game and putting dark-skinned people up there that looks like a sister or looks like a black person, I believe she'll probably win that in November coming up this year.
You mean you think she'll win? You think they'll win oversight of the police, or you think she'll win mayor?
I believe she'll become mayor, and that the city council will have that vote to be in charge of the city police department.
Just to be clear, those two are not connected. The oversight of the police department by the city council will be voted on by you and I, the voters, in November as part of charter reform. Although Nithya Raman, council member Raman, may support that, it has nothing to do with her becoming mayor. It's a separate initiative. Whether she wins for mayor, that's up to the voters.
Yeah, all of that's what I'm trying to speak on, that it's all up to the voters for the city council members to have control, for Romney to have control. She's already a city council person. Right. I'm quite sure she'll have an agreement with the city of Los Angeles city council members to vote on downsizing the police department or staffing them with more weapons or guns. I think it's a better chance with the city council and Rodney to become mayor to have full control. I mean, Sister Bass is saying, Mayor Bass is saying she's not going to do anything to downsize the police department.
It's interesting though. Hold on, Carl. Carl. Back and forth conversation. It is interesting that Councilmember Raman used to say she wanted to downsize the department. Now she is taking the same position as the mayor. Exactly the same position. That's what I'm talking about when I say people label themselves as one thing, but you got to look at what they actually do. Let's go to Andre calling us from LA because we're almost at the top of the hour here. Hi, Andre.
Indeed, I'm going to talk fast. I'm so sorry to hear all this unnecessary banter. But I want to say this.
Why is it
Dominique.
Unnecessary?
Because it's irrelevant. Anyway, I want to say this. I want to say how much I appreciated you with KBLA at our celebration. And I just had such enjoyment with you as a California State Redistricting Commissioner. I want to say that we need to talk more about this, and I want you to invite me onto your program to talk about redistricting and the importance of that and what it's doing to impact our community.
This is Andre Parvenu, former redistricting commissioner. And I'm glad you had fun at the Juneteenth celebration. I think it was a great gathering. I'm so glad that a lot of people came, even though, parking is a nightmare over there. But folks showed up, and we had so much fun. And it was great to see Dr. West and Tavis on the dance floor. And I even got out there a little bit myself, and I'm glad you could come. And let's talk further, offline about redistricting. I mean, it is something that we continue to discuss, but right now, we're in this period under Prop 50, right? And so we're looking at, what is it? It sunsets, is it 2030 or 2028? It's 2030, I believe.
28, yeah.
2030, yeah. But to me, if people are confused about stuff, it's never irrelevant. And it might feel irrelevant to you because for you it's like kindergarten when we should be in high school. But some of us are still, trying to catch up. All right, Andre, appreciate the call. We've got some great conversations on deck for you today. Pastor Robert Caldwell joins me next. We're going to talk about young people, foster care, justice or system impacted young people. Can we do better? Should we do better? How could we do better? Pastor Robert E. Caldwell's lived experience and his own theatrical piece may provide some answers. That's next after news, traffic, and sports.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Detroit police say a 7-year-old boy is hospitalized in critical condition after being shot several times last night at a home on the city's west side. Deputy Chief Tiffany Stewart says a man was also killed in the shooting that happened just after 9:30 Wednesday night.
At this point in time, we do not have a lot of information regarding what occurred at this scene. Our 7-year-old was able to tell us that his name is Jacquees.
Police say the two victims were found several homes apart and about 18 shots were fired. Florida's controversial Alligator Alcatraz immigration facility is moving closer to shutting down as officials begin the process of dismantling the site. And the city of Chicago is providing more than $42 million in grant funding for 56 neighborhood development projects. Mayor Brandon Johnson says the grants will help spur economic growth. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Wild Rivers is now open daily with over 25 slides and attractions for thrill seekers and lazy river chillers. Visit wildrivers.com for great values on season passes and daily tickets. That's wildrivers.com. Wild Rivers, where there's sun and fun for everyone.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
SoFi Stadium in Inglewood will be jumping tonight. The U.S. men's soccer team is back in action in the World Cup. The U.S. takes on Turkey. Start time 7 p.m. This is more of a tune-up match for the U.S. At 2-0, they've already qualified for the knockout round, the round of 32. Live coverage tonight on Fox Sports or Telemundo. The Dodgers have the best record in Major League Baseball after sweeping a 3-game series against the Twins in Minnesota. The Dodgers' 4-3 win put them at 52-29. Dodgers shortstop Mookie Betts hit his 300th career home run. The Dodgers are off today. They start a 3-game series Friday night in San Diego. Venus and Serena Williams will learn their opponents at Wimbledon on Friday when the pairings are announced. Venus and Serena are playing doubles together. Serena is also in the singles competition. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavish Smiley. Some interesting developments as it relates to Destination Crenshaw, or Procrastination Crenshaw, as it's known around these parts. So, just north of us on Crenshaw Boulevard in the 10th Council District, there's a black-owned restaurant called The District. Apparently, the restaurant is in some sort of legal dispute with the landlord, and it's gotten pretty ugly. So ugly, in fact, that the 3 black members of the LA City Council recorded a video in support of the restaurant, which is now circulating online. You might have seen it by now. To be clear, here at KBLA, we have nothing but love for Council members Heather Hutt and Curran D. Price Jr., who have been real champions for this particular black-owned and operated business, even though KBLA does not sit in either of their council districts. But take a listen to our 8th District Council member, Marquise Harris Dawson, who, as you know, is also president of the LA City Council.
Marquise Harris Dawson, President of the Los Angeles City Council and Representative of District 8. We just want you to know, from the 10th District to the 8th District and all across the city, we love the district. We support Tyree and the whole team that's there. It's one of the most beloved sports watching facilities in our district, and we all stand by them 100%.
All right, now for starters, lip service is not leadership, and slogans are not solutions. That said, I played that video at least 5 times. I mean, I was gobsmacked. The council president stands with black businesses 100%? Oh, really? Is that just in the 10th council district? Good brother, you need to travel south down Crenshaw